Yes, we are live on YouTube. Yes. कभी आपको कोई ऐसा सेशन चाहिए ना जिसपे आपको भर भर के गुरु स्टोरीज मिले, तो बस सही जगह पहुंच गए हो आप लोग. टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू लिसन टू लॉट ऑफ गुरु स्टोरीज. मजा आने वाला है आज. कल छुट्टी का दिन है, ज्यादातर लोगों के लिए रिलैक्स होके बैठ जाइए. और कई जन है जो YouTube पे ऐसे लेटे लेटे सुनते हैं. तो people who watch it in YouTube, they just lie. They are in the lying down position and they watch it. So just get into that zone and get dissolved in love. So the topic today is हम dissolve हो जाए प्यार में, love में. So आज हमारे साथ हेमा दीदी है. हेमा दीदी सबसे पहले मैं बताऊं जिससे आपको थोड़ा एक्साइटमेंट बढ़ जाए. हेमा दीदी इज काल ज्ञानी. काल ज्ञानी आज के टाइम में स्कैनर बहुत फेमस वर्ड हो गया है आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग में. और जब लोगों को पता चल जाता है कि कोई काल ज्ञानी आया है तो लोगों के थोड़े से कान खड़े हो जाते हैं. ओह, सो ऑब्वियसली यू कैन टेक अपॉइंटमेंट विथ हर. वो भी हम जानेंगे कैसे आप उनसे स्कैनिंग सेशंस भी ले सकते हो. तो वो सब भी सवाल रहेंगे. So talking about her, she is hailing from a family of musicians, a concert level veena artist and accomplished Bharatnatyam dancer. She ran a prestigious dance and music school in Botswana for 30 years, mentoring students who now perform and teach worldwide. A senior art of living teacher since 1990s, has conducted program across Africa, Europe, America, Asia, working with diverse groups from presidents to rural women, orphans. With Sri Ravi Shankar ji's guidance, she integrates Natya Shastra and yoga to raise consciousness in performing arts. She is a happiness program. Sri Natya teacher, Sahaj Samadhi, AMP, blessing course, and also a Kalyan. So today she is here with us. दीदी, आज हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं गेटिंग डिसॉल्व इन. एंड वो डिसॉल्व कैसे हुआ, सारी चीजें, तो उसको हम थोड़ा सा अभी के लिए सस्पेंस में रखते हैं. वी वुड लाइक टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम योर जर्नी. सविता जी, ओके, इफ यू वांट इन इंग्लिश वी विल कीप इट इन इंग्लिश आल्सो. सो let's start from your childhood days. And then slowly we will come to all the other events that happen in your life. Today we want whole life story of yours.
Right.
Please tell about your childhood when there was no art of living, no Gurudev's name around you. Then what was your thought? You have ever thought that someday you will teach these things about spirituality? क्या था सारी चीजें? Please if you can share.
I start now. I will talk in English if that is okay.
Perfect.
I can speak in Hindi also, but my Hindi is a little flaunted, so I'll talk in English.
तड़का लगाते रहिएगा दीदी, ताकि हमारी हिंदी ऑडियंस भी बीच में. Yes.
Yeah, my life, I was born in Chennai, grew up in a good in the amidst arts. Lot of there was a lot of music and dance in my family, so it came naturally to me. So I did my first years of schooling in Chennai, along with learning Bharatanatyam, Veena, music. And I also did my Arangetam at the age of 10. And thereafter, I grew up with my grandparents in a luxurious house, and I had a lot of facilities, and it was a happy childhood. And from there, I came to Bangalore. And it was my father was a HAL. He was working in HAL. So from luxury, again, I had to get used to a house, which we were just not very, middle class family. So I had to walk to school. That was my biggest ego, First, walking to school every day was real punishment for me. Going in cars and again here. So it was a big change for me at that time. But then I grew up, and then I started learning Veena also here. And I went to school here, second part of my schooling here, and did my in Mount Carmel College here. And thereafter, I did a couple of courses. I did journalism, then I did learn German for 2 years. I worked as a teacher for 2 years, did a secretarial course. And then, of course, then time they wanted to pack me off marriage. And that is when, yeah, it was an arranged marriage. My name is, my other name is Janaki actually. My husband was Rajaraman. So I was whisked off, married, like, and Sita followed. Then my husband decided to got a job in Zambia. So in 2 years of Calcutta and then to Zambia. Then like Sita followed Rama to the jungles, I followed my husband I followed him to Africa. So not expecting anything at all. First to Zambia. So it was difficult for me initially, because being a vegetarian. Zambia, there was nothing which was vegetarian at that point. Maybe they put us up in a motel. There is no vegetarian food. I just had to pick out everything and just, the rice, everything that was, you could always see some pieces of meat floating here and there. But that is it. That is how I started. I had to go. Then we had a house. Then I spent 3 years in Zambia. I was teaching in a convent there. I was teaching English. Then we moved to Botswana. And I spent the next 35 years of my life in Botswana. Now, Africa is really a magical city. I mean, magical country. I can't even, how I grew to love it's the country, Botswana especially. The country, the people. So that was, and then I started, that was the first time people asked me to start dance classes. A lot of the Sri Lankan kids were there. They said, why don't you start a dance class? So it just grew. It grew in numbers and I started giving a lot of programs, concerts. I started teaching music as well. So I had an academy of music and dance there. Couple of years. My children grew up there. My daughters grew up. Then they left to the States for studies. That's when, I started feeling there was something lacking in my life at that time. And that is when, just after my daughter's Arangetam, my two daughters did the Arangetam with me there. Just after that, we were on a cruise to Egypt. Then I got the news that my house was completely ransacked. So when we had to come back, I found nothing in the house. Everything had gone. All my jewelry, my nothing. It was empty. That is when I realized my heart was empty. My head was empty. My house was empty. Then I said, I knew something. There was something coming in my life, and I just felt absolutely in a different space. I decided to come to Bangalore. My father was not well. So when I came here, one of my uncles said, no, I was feeling very dull. I said, I just felt there was no purpose in life. And then somebody said, go and do this. My uncle told me at that time, this is Art of Living course, ashram here, why don't you go do the course? And I was willing to try anything. So I just went there. And then that's when, the basic, it was known as the happiness course, was the basic course. And yeah, I just did 3 days, felt very happy. And one of the things, I think one of the sessions, Guruji that was my first glimpse of Guruji. He just walked in, just tied up his hair up, and then he just did he said, all the teachers go, I'm going to take all the points. So he took all the points, one after another. Guruji came himself. And yeah, then I was wondering, who was this person, dynamic person? My God, something, touched my heart there. Yeah, then those days we could not do immediate, that was in 94. So we could not do immediately, we could not do the advanced course. But, I was just packing up to come home. Then somebody came running to me. They said, "Who is this who's come here from Africa?" But then I was wondering whether I had done something wrong. Yeah, here I am. He said, "No, Guruji wants you to stay on for the advanced course." So that was when it was a 10-day advanced course. So Guruji himself took all the meditations. He took all the hollow entries was done by him. Michael Fisherman was there. And that is when, in that course, a lot of things started coming inside me. A lot of things started changing inside me. And during one of the times, I think one of the days when I was sitting in silence, I was sitting by the steps near the old Ganga. And then I'm sitting all alone. And then Guruji just swished past me, went up in his white robes, then stopped at the last step, and he came down. And then he just looked at me, just gave me a very long look, which was filled with so much of love. That is when I dissolved in that love. I just was lying there for, I don't know for how many hours. Everything was swimming around me. I just felt I saw the whole world revolving around me. I said, and then I don't know how many hours I lay there. Somebody came and took me to the room. And that was it. I think that was the transformation. I knew I was a different person at that time. When the advanced course finished, and then Guruji sent for me. He said, now you're going back to Africa. He said, go start up Africa. Just that one single thing. I don't know what I just did not even realize the magnanimity of that, when he said that start up Africa. I said, what is he talking about? Because I had a dance and music school running. Startup means what? Just startup. Yeah, I'll come. And that was it. That was it. I just went back. Immediately started, he just sent one teacher within 2-3 months. Aruna Ben came from Surat. And then so just courses started happening. I knew a lot of people because of my dance and music there also. She stayed in our house. I thought one course you'd finish, the second course happened. She was not going at all. I thought she was going to leave my house. I said, how long is she going to stay here? But just courses started happening. She stayed for 2-3 months. Then immediately Guruji phoned up there and he said, ask Hema to come for the TTC. That was in 96. So I just came back. That also I did not know what happened, that the TTC was happening in Rishikesh. But I just came. But I got a very cheap fare, which never was there before. People were wondering, how did you manage to get that cheap fare? So it's 15 days in Rishikesh. I remember that TTC. I think the first time I had gone with Guruji's mother, I had gone to the Ganga to have a bath. I said, this is the first time I really want to have a bath in Ganga. Then I went inside the Ganga and fainted. I went the first, my dip in the Ganga, I fainted. Then there was Guruji's mother got Amma got very anxious. She said, what is this happening? And then there was a little trolley standing there. So I was quickly, she wrapped the clothes around me and she put me in the trolley. She said, come. She took me straight to Guruji. The Guruji was standing there in Rishikesh. He said, what happened? Come on, get up. And then he said, I suppose low pressure has dropped, get up. So that was the first thing. And the second, then I was sick for some time, so I could not do the course, do the TTC. So after that, we were all asked to go. One day he said, go and look out for students, find students for the course. So that was part of the TTC. And I was grumbling away. He said, what is this? I'm not expected to go and talk to people here and there. As I was grumbling, I just tripped on some cow dung. Tripped and fell, had a good big fall. I was covered with cow dung fully. Then the same chap who was, the same trolley fellow was standing there. So the same thing, he came running to me. I had broken my hand. Broke my hand. I could not even move my hand. So I was put on that same cart. The same cart went running to Guruji. She's fallen down. He came out. He said, "What's wrong with you? I think you're washing away all your karmas." You know. But again, my hand was broken. So I had to take x-rays and then I could not do the TTC for 2-3 days. Then he came and he just touched my hand like this. It was a fracture, but it became all right.
Just by touching, it became all right.
Just touched my hand. That's it. The next
Oh my
day,
God.
I was all right. Then, of course, it finished. The 15 days finished. Then he said, here is your cassette. Go and start teaching. People sitting around me were so angry. Quite a few people didn't get the cassette. And I said, no, Guruji, I don't want this cassette. I'm not ready to teach. He said, no, go. Just go. Paran Bhaiya will come, then you can start teaching. So that's how, I took my first cassette, went back to Botswana. And Bharat Bhaiya was coming there. He said he will be coming there. So you can start teaching. So I had organized a big course for him. He was in Johannesburg. So I was in Botswana. I had lost my luggage. I had lost my, with the, I think, what is the teachers, this thing, no? The book also I have lost. So that is, I did not know what to teach. I was supposed to teach, but Bharat Bhaiya was supposed to come and teach. I said, aren't you coming? He said, what? Why do you think Guruji made you a teacher? I can't come. He just said in Johannesburg. So there was a big course. I did not know what to teach. I only had the cassette with me. So even I did not know, the book was not there. So that was said. Then Guruji, I phoned up Guruji. I said, he was in Germany. I said, Guruji, I don't know what to teach. He said, go, just go, just do 3 days pranayama and then everything will come. That's enough, go. So next day I really went shivering. There were so many doctors on the course, so many people on the course. I just shivering, I was sitting there. I said, I don't know what I'm going to teach. I just sat there. I could not even believe there was like some big cloud came and sat on my head. Knowledge started pouring out at that time. I was doing this. People were asking me all sorts of questions about consciousness, about medical, about that. Answer came out, pat. I was just so spontaneously it came out. So after the course, after 3 days, 4 days course it was. Then Guruji phoned me up from Germany. So he asked me, so how did the course go? I said, Guruji, I knew everything. The answers came out. I was just so smart, Guruji. And quickly, Guruji listened to all my praise, everything, then showing up. Then he said, now you know. Quietly, he said one word. He said, now you know who's doing the course. That was it, From that day to this day, I know I'm not the doer. I just know he just takes over everything. That is how my first journey started. Taught the first course, and I know I just came, knowledge just poured out. That is
wow. Absolutely amazing. The way you have told how Gurudev took over the course. Did he share more Guru stories?
my Guru's. Then, of course, Guruji came. The first time when he came, I picked him up from Johannesburg and we drove him to Botswana. Then as we were crossing the border, I said, Guruji, I'm pinching myself like, I can't, it's gone.
No, you are there. We all can hear you.
Yeah, I said, Guruji, I really was pinching myself. Are you really here? Banu Didi, Guruji and Bharat Bhaiya had come. I said, "Are you really here? I can't believe I'm taking you to Botswana." He just smiled at me. He said, "Your devotion has brought me here." That was beautiful. His first trip there. Then he came there and he said, "My God, Botswana is a really beautiful place. The sky is there. It's just the Milky Way, the skies." Just looked at it and he said, "What a beautiful sky." That's his first thing he said. Then he stayed there. We had a big satsang there. That was when, so that was my husband that time, there was some problem. One of the clients, he was an accountant. One of the clients somewhere had, stolen some, not his clients, his people who's worked for him. He had taken some money from one of the politicians, something, and my husband had to answer for that. He was in a lot of trouble that time. And Guruji, I didn't tell Guruji at all about this. And then we had a big satsang in Botswana. It was the first time a guru had attracted so many people. We had over 1,000 people, which has never happened in a small country like Botswana. So that happened, and then people had come there. The next day when we were dropping.
How so many people in India also, it is very difficult sometimes to get people. So how so many people came?
I don't know. Because when Guruji and I were sitting in the car park, I said, "Guruji, I can't believe all these cars have come for you." I really couldn't believe. Then he just kept smiling. Somehow, it just happened. Really happened. Because
So
really, I had.
we are doing so much effort to bring people, but it's actually
All was full.
Yes.
So then, this is a very thing how it happened. This fellow who had cheated my husband had come to see Guruji also in one of those lines. So Guruji stopped him apparently and told him, "You better do not put, Rajaraman into trouble. You better clear up his name before you leave this place." He was planning to run away to Canada the next day. So when we came back after leaving Guruji, at the airport in Johannesburg, this fellow came home and fell at my husband's feet and said, "Guruji told me to take your apology and he told me to clear your name and go." That is how my husband also became a devotee. So that was the start,
Wow, goosebumps. Goosebumps.
And another thing was how, Botswana is a beef-eating country. So vegetables, and it is a desert, and vegetables were not grown so much those days. There only the few vegetables were grown in the prisons, or some places like that. So Guruji, when he came there, I told him, I said, "Guruji, how do you think, it's difficult to talk about vegetarianism here because I think vegetables are not grown here and it is a meat-eating country." Guruji said, "You start doing courses, nature will provide." From that day to this day, whenever there is a course, whenever we did the Kriya was happening, the skies would just, lightening and thunder. It will be just pouring. Pouring means pouring. The country, the Botswana, the Pula is the name of the currency. Pula is also rain. So every course, every day, every weekend when I did the Kriya, it would pour. It just happened. I mean, in the Kriya, Sudarshan Kriya is happening in a course, clouds will gather, lightning, thunder. It was part of it. So the next year when Guruji came, he just looked at everything. He said, everything is so green. That, that way. So that was a real blessing from Guruji. Pula, rains.
Now the Botswana is a very prosperous country that I see
Yeah,
today.
diamonds and yeah.
Yes. So it is very famous for diamonds, right? There are so many diamond mines and everything. So uh, staying in Botswana, struggling with vegetarianism and everything, taking courses, how difficult it was.
No, it was not. I told you in a year there are vegetables. Now there are a lot of farming happening in Botswana. Lot of vegetables are growing in vegetable, and so many during the time I just mentioned vegetarianism. Lot of our Botswana, the peoples there, they're known as Botswana. Okay, lot of them became vegetarians on their own. So it was not a compulsion, but it was just happening there. So when doing the Kriya and doing that, just became part of nature. The minute Guruji said happen, it just things started rolling. Teachers started coming from India, Bharat Bhaiya, Vikram started coming, Vikram came, and then satsang started happening. We had a very good Mridangam player there. Sir Manhar Bhai was there. He was a musician. So the first initial satsang started happening in my house. And after that, my house really became an ashram. So every weekend, Thursday, we'll have a satsang there.
Wonderful.
Started rolling. Teachers started coming from India. They started coming from Canada, Germany. They all used to stay at my house. And the first advanced course happened at the game reserve in Botswana, which is very beautiful.
Wonderful.
Then the second advanced course
Let me
happened.
tell people, and let me tell this in Hindi also. ये आप लोगों को पता होना चाहिए कि बोत्सवाना में भी कोर्सेज इतने होते हैं जो कि शायद आई हैव हर्ड दिस नेम फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम इन माय लाइफ लाइक दिस कंट्री एग्जिस्ट such type of thing. So everywhere you can see I'm sharing your screen. This is Botswana, na, if I'm wrong. You can see the screen. Yes. So here it is the land of elephants and great landscape over here. You can see everywhere the courses are happening. Wonderful, wonderful. There is a lot of wildlife there, right, in Botswana. Jungle safari and all. Great. So, Didi, then you were there in Botswana for some time. Then Gurudev came how many times over there?
He came there 3 times.
Wow.
3 times during my stay there. And then he started, from Botswana, we started having courses. People, the one of our people really who helped me in the beginning was a great industrialist in Botswana, Mr. Manhar Muni. He really helped me reach out to the local people there, to the president. So when Guruji came, met the president. He met the president. And then Guruji said, the president was limping that time. He had a pain in his knee. And then Guruji just tapped him on his knee. And the next day, I think he became all right, I think. So Guruji left. Then he phoned me up from India. He said, Hema, go do the course for the president.
Oh.
I said, what is Guruji talking about? And here, next day, I get a call from the president. The president wants you to come to to the state house and do the course. So course, that's it. The president did the course, and then every week I used to tell the president, I will come there and take the Kriya. But he said, no, 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 I will come. The teacher doesn't come to the student's house. The student has to come to the teacher's house. So he used to come every week for Kriya to my place. For a long time, he did that.
The president of
That
Botswana
continued. Yeah,
comes to your place.
so,
Wow.
so that is how Guruji made things happen. Then slowly we started doing courses for the army. We did a lot of courses at the army.
What was the name and which year you are talking about? What was the name of the president that time?
Sir Masire.
Masire.
Mm.
It's which year?
That was in 1996 when Guruji came. That, yeah.
1996 he did the course. Wow.
So that was it. Then 97 again he came. Then the next president also he met. I think 98 he met. 98, 99 he came. He met the next president also there. They also did the course. He and the first lady did the course. When she came to the ashram. So visited us at the ashram. And thereafter, courses started happening, Then I.
That I'm showing. He did the
Yeah,
course. K2 Mili
Dr. Masidi.
words. So he was the one who did the course. And now he retired, I guess. Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, Didi, please continue the Guru stories.
That was the end. There was no stopping. Every time there was a time Guruji will just call me just like that. He said, I know, I don't know how he knows that I'm teaching dance and I'm teaching music. He said, now I can hear, I think you're teaching dance. No, just like that, he'll call me, he'll talk to me. Then a couple of times, then I got dependent on that. Then I started, I said, oh, no. Then sometimes now Guruji tell me now what I should do. Should I do this? He said, don't ask me anymore. And slowly he cut off the dependency string also. You know what to do. Don't ask me. So that is how, no asking, just everywhere we could reach out. Then we started getting some teachers. People also helped me. So many people helped me. Then we started getting more teachers. Savita and Pauline and Lillian and all of them. So they're amazing. We had such a fantastic group there. We got together. We did a lot of things together. There was a lot of belonging in Botswana.
Also share one Guru story because you are of that era when Art of Living started. That time Gurudev was more available during 1996 and all. Everyone can go to his room, they can talk to him, and he was more accessible that time when you just join Art of Living.
Yeah.
Yes. So there is one very beautiful Guru story that I'd like to share. My voice is clear, na? Everyone like we can hear my voice. Yes. So मैं हिंदी में बोलता हूँ ये स्टोरी. एक डिवोटी था, 1990s की बात है ये. तब वहाँ पे Gurudev was there and he used to meet Gurudev quite often, and Gurudev used to pamper him, and he used to do some seva for the ashram and everything. So after that, the Art of Living grew and more people started coming in ashram. Gurudev started becoming more busy. So in 2010, the same devotee was struggling to meet Gurudev, and he was in a darshan line and all. So somehow he got some chance with the to have eye contact with Gurudev, and he just said it like, Gurudev, I have been waiting for you for a long time, and previously you used to meet me and I used to do seva, lot of things. Now I guess you don't need me. That's why you are not means there with me, and you are not replying, means you are not very accessible. So Gurudev said one wonderful thing, that is, if a guru requires someone to do his things, then you have not got the right guru. The guru is Sarva Samarth. He can do all the things. So don't be that thing that, okay, we are doing something for Gurudev, and now it is Gurudev has no need. No. Previously also, I guess Gurudev was only doing, and now also it's we who are getting benefited by the presence of him. This was one Guru story that I remember. You have seen Gurudev in and out. So tell us about some learnings from Gurudev, the way he conducts and all, and some Guru stories which we have taught you some life lesson also.
Guru stories. The first time when he came to Botswana, when he was leaving, I found, there was only one red rose in my garden that day. And I said, Guruji, what can I give Guruji? I don't have anything here. So I just took that rose and gave it to him. And he just kept it with him. Then we drove him to Johannesburg. Then he kept that whole fully, throughout the journey, he kept that rose with him. And he left that rose. And then in Johannesburg, we had stayed with somebody else, some friends. And he had a very beautiful rose garden. So that evening, Guruji was leaving for Germany. So he was showing us all the roses in his garden. So my Guruji was walking behind. I was walking with that owner of the garden. I saw another very beautiful rose. It was a very beautiful lilac rose. Then I said, oh, Guruji, I should give this to Guruji. And I was just about to pluck it when Guruji was forward, someone going. Then he turned round to my husband. He turned round to me and he said, stop it. It looks beautiful where it is. Don't take it. Then he turned round to my husband and he said, I know she wants to give it to me. But that day, from that day, I have never plucked a rose. I said things, he taught me what is environment. So that is something I learned that day. And I've never since then given him flowers or since plucked a rose. That he taught me that day. There are so many stories, I think, So even we worked a lot with the Catholics there. In Botswana, all the barriers were broken. We did courses in the Gurudwara, we did courses with the Catholic priests. Whoever were supposed to be priests, they had to take the course. It was a compulsion. So with those people, I even went to the Kalahari. So it was nice. The Kalahari desert. We did the courses for the people there, in the Basarwa, the people living in the desert. With the Catholic people, I went there, did the course courses for the, social workers. And there, some of them, they said, do the course. But at the end of the course, I did not know the language. They did not know my language at that time. But at the end of the course, they were coming out with all the knowledge points. The communication was happening in silence. And the next day again, Guruji phoned up. So how was the course? He asked me. So somewhere, he was there everywhere. I mean, my whole life is a Guru story. I don't know what I can say. Everywhere. That was one, and that night, it was an amazing, beautiful night in the Kalahari desert. We were staying in a caravan, Then suddenly you hear noises coming, sounds coming from all over. They were all giving all the dancers, and with drums they call all the people in. So they came from all directions and they were all having a dance for me. the guests, all the people, and they pull me into them. And they're so spiritual themselves, So teaching art of living in Botswana was not at all difficult because they took to it so naturally. They themselves are very spiritual people, beautiful spiritual people. So to reach out to them was not at all difficult. They took to it naturally. Our satsangs also, they used to sing a lot of songs and dance. And they were beautiful. They had beautiful voices. They were beautiful dancers. So they were naturally very beautiful people. So when Guruji used to come there, they used to dance for him, sing for him. And the Guruji enjoyed it so much. That was one Guru story. One time when I was very sick, this is another thing. I was really sick and I was diagnosed with cancer. And I had a major, I had a major operation. Then Guruji, that time he said, I'm coming there. But he said, Guruji, you're coming, I can't do anything. I'm feeling so sick, I can't do anything. He said, no, I'm just coming there. So he just came there with Banu Didi and he came that day. He said, this time you don't do anything. I'm only coming to spend time with you here. He stayed at my place. He used to go to the kitchen, take the food, put it in the plates. I could not even get up. He used to come and give it to me. He said, this time only I've come to spend. Who was serving who? But that's when I realized I didn't even know that he just looked after me really so much. He just, no, you sit here, you do this. That whole day, he looked after me and he said, now come with me. So after that, they said, no, when I went and tested with the cancer and all, they said, you do not have to have chemotherapy. So I was cured of that. It was just a third time Guruji came there. So I was cleared of that. So he looked after me, just who was mothering who, I don't know. Can't even. That was one thing it was so beautiful. He said, no, you don't do anything. He went there, he filled up the plate. Then we traveled in South Africa with him. Wherever he traveled, he used to pick up the plate, fill up the plate, and come and give it to me. That is what a guru is. So all sorts of, when I saw, then one time he told me, he just rang me up from India, and he said there is this professor in Wales, in Scotland. He wants somebody to help him with this research project. So I suggested your name. So it was to do with the Natya Shastra. So he said, you go. Then I said, okay. I said, I don't know anything. I've been teaching dance, Guruji, but I don't know anything about Natya Shastra. All those the principles. It's a big, Natya Shastra is a big book, treatise written in the third century BC by a Narada Muni. But it has all the things for Natya Shastra, all the principles and rules. You go. And then then before that he was in Germany. I said I went to take blessings from him. He said, Guruji, I don't know anything about Natya Shastra. In that time, only Guruji and I were there in that room. Then Guruji just got up and he just did one dance. He said, dance is the movement of the consciousness. He said, I have done this for you. The rest of it, you don't worry. You'll know what to do. So at that time also, I didn't believe him. So I just read that. From there, I went off. I stayed there for about 4 or 5 months, working with theatre artists, with all the Shakespearean artists and all that. But the Natya Shastra, which I did not know anything about, just came to me. Just came to me, just like that. Everything. When I was taking the courses, everything, you should just pour out. And that was another experience. So I stayed there for 6 months. helping with the research, doing research with the, like raising the consciousness in the performing arts with all the theater artists. So this was another dimension to which he exposed me to. So that is it. Everywhere, how he made me grow by leaps and bounds. Exposed me here, we go here, go there, go teach here. Then, of course, when in 2005, when everything was on top, I was traveling. In the meantime, teachers also came from India to teach in South Africa, but I was also traveling and teaching. And then I told Guruji, how can I travel and run my classes as well, Guruji? He said, do not limit yourself. You can do this and you can do that. Don't limit yourself. So surely I could manage this, and I could also travel and teach in South Africa at that time. South Africa neighboring, I went to Kenya, South Africa, Zimbabwe, all those places. To travel and teach. But I was also running my classes. And this is another thing which happened with my students. I was considered a very strict dance teacher, and I was very proud of it. I said, it has to be like this. And children used to be terrified of me, really terrified of me. Every Saturday classes, they will cry and come to my class every Saturday. But once when Art of Living started, then I found that those were the children who said, my teacher has changed so much. They asked all the parents to do the course with me. Then suddenly I realized they were all smiling, really real smiles. In those days when I had to put them before Art of Living, put them on the stage, smile, do this, and they will paste a smile there in fear and dance. After that, I realized the smiles were coming naturally. They were not perfect, but they were beautiful. Later, I realized in trying to make myself perfect, I became a very imperfect teacher. So through Guruji and through the children, I learned, I could be imperfect. It's okay to be imperfect. So, so that is a lesson that I learned from my students. And after Art of Living, I became a much gentler person. My students became my friends. Another thing which came up to me during dance, this is regarding my dance. So there were the 11 types of love in Narada Sutras. No? It's all about starting with, you're starting with the qualities, describing the qualities of the divine. It all happens in dance as well. So before Art of Living, when I'm teaching the children's dance, the children will ask me, what is this love you are talking about? How can we start loving? How do we love for the Lord? How can we do this? I know. I said, yeah, I know. Why should always a woman pine for the Lord? No, he also used to tell them. It's difficult. But after Art of Living, I just realized when I was teaching, everything came naturally. The love, describing the qualities of the Lord. Then slowly after that, worshipping him in form, Rupa Shakti. Then came, puja. Even when we were taught the Guru Puja, that became a dance for me. That was also even when I was teaching the dance. So everything came like that, one after another, by step, the love. That is what dissolving, the Tanmaya Shakti, and, dissolving. Now, if you ask me, that is what it is. You just surrender. There is the Narada Sutra where it's surrender yourself, surrender your breath, your body, everything to the divine. That also comes in the dance. And that became natural when I'm teaching. That is what I realized. I was growing also internally. Realizing, the bud breaks, it becomes divine, That happened so naturally in my dance.
Do
And they
you,
also picked it up naturally. All
do
the 11 types of love.
do you feel that everyone should do the course of Sri Natya Yoga? Do you feel that everyone should do this course of Sri Natya Yoga?
I see with all this. When I was teaching the courses in Europe and all that, then I concised my own thing as Nitya Yoga, where race to do with emotions. And I used all the Bhakti Sutras, Narada's Bhakti Sutras, along with Guruji's knowledge and Natya Shastra to raise the consciousness in the performing arts. So that was my research project, which of course Guruji gave me he didn't give me anything. He said, go now, everything will come to you. So he gave me in a different, it all came to me. Though I did not study the Natya Shastra text, today if you ask me, I can tell you anything about the Natya Shastra in any place. It just came. Revelations.
Now there is a course, na Sri Natya. There is a course to do.
No, I did not. I did it, but I was not teaching Sri Natya. I was doing this. I was teaching the other one, teaching emotions, how to raise your emotions through dance, how to bring out your feelings, no? The real feelings. Not just like that, not just shake your neck, not just, but to feel inside, feel and bring it. That was my research project, and that is what I was doing in my workshops. To feel the dance, feel the music, not just singing, feeling at a feeling level. When you do, when there comes a time in any dance performance, every time when the dancer is not the dancer, she becomes the dance. The audience is not the audience. They are also elevated. There comes a stage when the dancer, the audience, the whole place is in a different state of consciousness. It really happens when that divinity is there. And that is how dance and music is so divine and spiritual. But I only realized it much, much, much more after Guruji gave me that knowledge.
How you became Kalgyani? Please share that story. What was how you came to know? I don't know how.
Again, I tell you, that is so amazing. Suddenly Guruji saw me sometime and he said, now you become a Kalkyani. And just, when I'm going through it, I don't think I am myself. Some other thing comes. Like I'm doing my courses also. Some other power takes over. It just comes. Spontaneously somebody asks, I don't even have to think about it, it just comes. So
How someone can take appointment of your for scanning session? Like how someone takes appointment?
scanning session.
If they want to do it with you.
So I think many of them, like I do a lot in South Africa also, and then even in India, they register through the Kalgan portal.
Okay.
And that's how it happens.
Okay, so I guess I will take your link and post it in the description so that people who want to do scanning with you, they can through the Kal Gyan portal, they can register themselves. Right. There are many other people also who are here. So we will ask them also. Abdul ji, if you can unmute Abdul and you can say something about Hema ji.
About Kalgan, no?
No. About your seva and all. Abdul ji, please unmute.
About my?
No. I am asking Abdul ji. Say he will share something about you. He was there with you, na?
Okay.
Yes, Abdul ji, please share.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yes. I first heard about the art of living from my friend. I've got a friend who has a friend to Hema G's daughter. His name is Ravi. So he's the one who actually introduced me to art of living. But what happened was, like, me and him, this friend of mine, we actually got interested into yoga when we were actually watching one of the Chinese movies. There was a Chinese movie, a karate movie, a kung fu movie, which there was a yogi also in that movie. So the yogi, he happened to have won the fight. So that's how we actually got interested into yoga. And then at our library, we bumped into the books of yoga, and then we started reading about yoga and stuff like that. So at a later stage, when we had finished school, it was around the 90s, like how Hema was actually putting it. Hema G was putting it. My brother now told me that, hey, you must come. There's a class for yoga. You must actually come, attend the yoga course and stuff like that. So I was very much amazed because we had books of yoga and we loved yoga, but now this time we're going to have an opportunity to actually have a teacher in front of us. So I jumped into the opportunity. I never looked back till today. So, and then at a later stage, I happened to attend a silence course, which was actually conducted by Hema G. Yeah. So that's how I had to meet her. But I think my first course, I attended it through my yoga teacher here. Actually in Francistown. Her name is Nadi. And then I never stopped. It always flowed, And then that's how it actually happened. Yeah. And then talking about the divinity part, there was one part whereby there was an advanced course in Gaborone. I can't remember the teacher who came, but I know that he was a soldier once. That teacher who came, and I had no, like, a sponsor. Uh, then what I did, I had subscribed for the knowledge sheets of Guruji. So what happened was, like, I didn't know what to do. I had nothing to attend the course. Then what I did was, like, I opened my knowledge sheet. Then when I opened it, it was a daily knowledge sheet. So that knowledge sheet for that day, it said to me, Guruji said to me, no, go for that course. And then I went to the course. It was a surprising thing because nobody knew. Then after the course, they asked me, how did it happen that you hear about the course and stuff like that? And then I told them the whole situation, that this is what happened to me. I didn't even have the sponsor to attend the course, but I ended up attending the course. Yeah. So it has been an amazing journey, to tell you the least. Yeah. And I've never looked back ever since. Yeah. So that is how I actually ended up meeting Hema G also. Yeah.
Wonderful. So
Hmm.
Hema ji have been a mentor on this journey. Hema ji, you want to say something?
Yeah, I don't know. I love Botswana. I love the people. What else can I say? Yeah, then everything, sometimes all good things come to an end and have a beginning as well. When everything was going just right, when just everywhere on top of the world for me, everything crashed. My husband died. My husband had a heart attack. He died when he was hardly 59 or something. He just passed away. And then I just fell from the pedestal. It was like that. Yeah, it was a difficult thing. I had to go and take over the business. And even at that time, There was only one person I could show my anger, and that was Guruji. I was so angry with him. Guruji is ring me up so many times and say, I don't feel like talking to you, Guruji. I could only show my anger to him. I could not show it to my children. That was my closeness to Guruji. Now I could fight, I could show my anger, I could show my grief, and he was there to take it all. Yeah, from there I came, wound up the business. It was a very difficult period for me. Came to India, I was there on top of the world there. Everybody in Africa knew me, everybody through dance, through art of living. Come here to Bangalore, Ashram, nobody knows me. I was a nobody, really a nobody. So it was a very difficult period for me, to get back into it. Just, it was, I had free access to Guruji. Here, everybody, there is a block here, you can't go there, you can't go here. So it was those 2 years, I really had a very difficult time here. Then Guruji called me and said, now you start traveling and teaching internationally. So my world again opened up. So I traveled all over. And, there were times when I went to Suriname, then I met, Ashok. I met beautiful people like Ashok, Madhavi there, But that also, when I was getting into the flight from America, Florida, I was getting into the flight, I was sitting in the flight, it was halfway, then suddenly the flight stops and then there is panic in the flight and they said the flight has got fire. But there, somewhere I just felt so taken care of. Yes, it was on fire. Anyway, it came back to the same place. So again, it went, then it got stuck in some other place, somewhere in Trinidad. The people who I didn't have a phone. So the people in Suriname, Ashok was waiting for me there. They did not know what had happened to me. They were missing. They were ringing up the pilot. They were ringing up all over to find out what has happened to me. But 2 days there was no food to eat, nothing to eat. But then there is a big, go to Suriname, poor things. They were so worried about me. But there was a big satsang that day. They had arranged a big satsang. I didn't have clothes to wear. So because my the luggage got lost. So I just asked Ashok, you give me a kurta. I had short hair also that time. So you give me a kurta and I wore a dhoti. Then I had an angostram. He had an angostram. I took that. And then when I went there, they said, oh, we thought a lady was coming to teach the course. So they thought I was a man because I had short hair. So, all sorts of things, art of living you had to go with. That was there. And I went and traveled to Sri Lanka and stayed there for 3 months. My Tamil was so bad at that time. They asked me, what language are you speaking? I said, slowly. Then I told Guruji said, go talk at the parliament. And I started, just Tamil started flowing out. Just started coming. Within that month, the Tamil became so. That was, every place I went to, wherever I went, I was received well. So many places I've traveled and taught after that.
Wow.
Now I am in that thing of, from nobody you become no. From everybody you become no. From somebody you become nobody. Now I think I'm in the space of becoming everybody. From nobody to everybody. That's what it brought me to.
I request Savita ji if you can also share something about Hema ji. Say, Savita ji, please unmute.
Jai Gurudev. Yes, it has been so overwhelming listening to Hema's stories, Guru stories, that it takes you up to that plane where you know what devotion is, because Hema is that. We have looked upon to her and we have grown with her. She has nurtured us so beautifully. As she was saying, she's a very strict teacher, But I think way of teaching, till today, I don't see any teacher teaching the way she taught us. The way, in perfection and in everything that we have learned, it is here in our heart. And the time when I came in Art of Living, that was a very stressful time. I had moved from Australia, and there was a lot of stress, and I had lost my speech. My vocal cord had dried up, so I had the speech was lost. And then somebody came to our house and she said, "Why don't you do the course?" Nalaini, she was our friend, and she said, "Why don't you attend the Art of Living course?" So I went for the course. Hema was our teacher. It was a very big course. And during that course, I felt some sensations and something, I felt like Guruji standing there, taking care. And in my heart, I felt that this is it for me, and then religiously, I had been practicing the Kriya, and Hema had been guiding us at every single step like a mother. And today also we look upon to her like that only. And how she brought me out from all those things and how I regained my voice. And then we became a very devoted volunteers over there. For us, it was not like going here and there. Our journey was straight from our house to Hema's house, because we could be there, uh, it was like a family. Everything was there, and you could feel so much of peace and solace, and then Guruji's presence. And coming to her intuitive thing, as she is a Kalyani now, she has been like that. you know One, you can say a miracle, or you can say a event in my life which I very fondly I remember. That I was traveling to India, and first time I was going to meet Guruji. I had that intention in my mind that I will see Guruji. I had not seen him at all, and even in the courses we never used to have his pictures or something like that. So I was sitting with Hema, and she told, "Oh, you are going to India. Who knows, you will be traveling and sitting next to Guruji." This is what she told me. And when I landed up in India, straight away I went to some devotee's house, and Guruji was there. And as I was sitting there, Guruji, he said, "Oh, so tomorrow you are coming with us to Nepal." So I was just zapped, and I was thinking, what is he saying? Nepal? Today I have come from India. My kids are 2 years and 4 years old. How will I go and all that? And I just said, nodded my head. I said, "Yes, Guruji." And I don't know from where I booked my ticket, because my bags were lost. From Dubai coming to India, my bags were lost. I didn't had any bags, nothing. And then immediately somebody booked my tickets. I bought 2, 3 clothes. And next day I was standing at the airport. And Guruji came and he says, "Oh, so you are coming and traveling with us?" I said, "Yes, Guruji." And as we went in there and we boarded the flight, till now I remember my boarding bus. His seat number was C11 and mine was C12. And I was remembering Hema, who said, "Who knows, you will be traveling with Guruji and sitting next to him." So that's how it was. Bharat Bhai, Vikram Bhai, everybody was there in that flight. And we had a wonderful time in Nepal, the way he took care of us. And I was sharing the room with the Guruji's mother. And throughout the journey was very beautiful. There are many stories in between also, but to tell you, coming back from Nepal, and in the flight I thought that once we will get down, we won't have time to meet Gurudev, so let me just go and give him a hug and tell him Jai Gurudev. So when I went there, he just whispered in my ears while going back, "Just check your baggages at the counter." And I was wondering, like, how did he knew that my baggages were not there, and they were lost in my journey from Botswana to India. So when I went there and checked about my baggages, they said that your bags have been delivered at your home along with a check of 30,000. Because in those days, if your luggage is lost and the first 3 days, if you don't find them, you get the reimbursement for the toiletries. So 10,000 per person. So we were three, so 30,000 along with the baggages, everything was reached home. So this is how Guruji, very subtly and, unknowingly, you won't even know, and what does he do? It is so, so amazing. But for me, always it has been like Hema, always her intuitive things, the way she says, and that, yes, this is it. And that is why whenever some moments are like that, I always remember her, and I always remember her devotion, which has been the pillar of my journey on this path. That is something very beautiful, because she is a combination of innocence and devotion.
Wow. Wonderful. That's why Hema.
Thank you, Jay.
That's why Hema is a Kal Gyani, because she had that intuition in her. Dr. Rajesh Naik ji, if you want to share something about Hema.
Yes, I will be brief, though I'm not normally brief. Hema then and I met in her low period after she lost her husband. I was traveling from Zimbabwe to Botswana on a business trip. I had no place to stay off and had no plans. And there's a teacher here in Poloyo who said, look, there's this Art of Living teacher there. You just contact her and she'll take care of everything. I cannot forget how hospitable she was. I was a very bad diabetic then. And the minute I arrived and met her in her office, she was in this process of winding up a business and making plans to take the next steps in her life. But in spite of all that, she had so much time and took so much trouble. She realized what difficulties I was in, and everybody says she's like a mother figure and whatever. But for me, she was an angel from God. She still is, and we have kept in touch on and off over the years. But I will never, ever forget the love and the special bond from that day that we met till now. Thank you.
Hema, do you want to say something?
Yeah, on the lighter side of it, no. Guruji was also a very good friend of mine. The Saka Shakti was also there, different. So at one time in Johannesburg, I think the first time, Guruji we were all there around in Naren Khala's house, we were all sitting. And everybody was drinking, having breakfast, and Gujaratis love the chai. So it was going down, and suddenly Guruji was also there, and I was also having the tea. Suddenly Guruji looks at my cup and says, "What is that floating there?" I said, "No, Guruji, nothing." And I was drinking the tea very happily. I said, "See, what is it? Something is floating," he said. Then I realized instead of sugar, I had put pickle in my tea. And I was drinking in that, bow. I was so much in that love. I didn't even realize the taste. To this day, Guruji teases me. He says, "You don't cook anything, you don't know anything about taste." So that was that. And one time when Guruji came to Botswana, I had dressed up in a full parda. I said, "No, I'm going to welcome him. I'm going to fool him." Went round, then I told the people none of them knew who I was. They were wondering who was the strange parda looking lady in the airport. Everybody had come in the airport. I was also one with them, and they were all wondering who was just sitting here, there, everywhere in this parda. Then Guruji comes out, and then I said, I did this to him, Salim Guruji. My name is somebody, I think Swami, somebody else was there, he's Vikram was there. He said, oh, she is Aisha. He just, Guruji said, Hema, whom are you trying to fool? So just 1 second, he saw through me. So, I mean, it was also nice not to play jokes with him, fun with him, just a friend. So, in all the forms of, the Narada Bhakti Sutras, he's there with me. Everything, Tanmaya Shakti, everything. Atma Jnana Shakti, my everything surrendered. And the last Tanmaya Shakti, I am in him as he is in me. That is it. That is it.
Wonderful, wonderful, Hema. It was a wonderful session. Many people are crying just in love. So we have Gurudev with us, so nothing to worry in our life. Everything is taken care of. So I request everyone to share this session to maximum people whom you know. सब तक पहुंचाओ. इस channel को subscribe करो. We do these sessions every day. Just a second. That's my camera.
I like to finish with one more Botswana song.
Yes. So
I will finish.
please, with any last message or song, please, as a concluding remarks, anything you want to say. Yes, please.
Okay, can I sing that? Tate Romana, Tate Romana, Tate Romana, Namole Pace. Ketla Sabeletsa, Ketla Sabeletsa, Ketla Sabeletsa, Sabeletsa, Mole Pace. Lead the way. What is the meaning of this? Is very beautiful. Send me into the world. Send me into the world. Let me do your seva. Let me do your seva. Let me do. That is it. I hope till the end of my breath, the last breath, I am in service.
Absolutely.
Doing seva.
Thank you so